good.
The caption said, "I'm getting evicted as a single mother."
I gotta give up. I have worked so hard, literally. I went to school for 10 years for a higher education that doesn't do me any good. I've been working 2 jobs in restaurants for 2 years, 50 hours a week for nothing. It doesn't mean anything. In fact, I'm getting evicted next week after my son almost died in the end of March with diabetes. And now he has type 1 diabetes. And dealing with that. And then my grandma had a stroke 10 days after that. And now I'm behind on my $2,500 a month rent that I can't work enough to catch up.
Oh my goodness.
Why do people, and let me be clear, I have empathy, right, for people that are going through things because life be life. I've been through things. I don't know anybody that has not been through things. All right. So that goes without saying. Okay, your son got type 1, your grandparent or your parent died or whatever like that. Man, condolences out to you. But then there's always that other part because we ignore that other part because the person is super emotional. Aside from the fact that the person is crying on the internet, I don't understand this. I don't understand picking up your phone and then crying to the internet. I don't know what that does. I don't know if you're looking for
That is so true. With everything going on, I try to never forget to contextualize things. And what I mean is the fact that you done set your phone up on a tripod and then it's like, all right, 3, 2, 1, we're rolling. And then you just started crying. Again, like he said, condolences for her situation. That's hard. But the first thing that stuck out to me was $2,500 rent. $2,500 rent. Let me tell you something. I don't know too many people out here with paid off cars. So we haven't even explored what her car payment could possibly be. So why you would want your overhead to be $2,500 rent, I don't know. Now the description here says, "I'm getting evicted as a single mother of 2 kids." So she mentioned the first one with type 1 diabetes, but she also has a second one possibly. So it could be possible that she decided to get a 3-bedroom apartment. Again, I know we think we need all these rooms and we think we need this, we think we need that. But now you're about to possibly be living out of your car. So I think that what we could have done to mitigate this was we could have just got a studio apartment. We could have got a 1-bedroom apartment, maybe a 2-bedroom apartment. Anything less than $2,500 a month. And you also might have had to go to a more an area with a little bit more character. An area where you're going to be dealing with a plethora of characters. I.e., you might have had to go to a more hoodish area. I don't know which area you're living, but when you come up with your budget and what you can afford, you have to stick within that. Especially when we're talking about rent. Every 4 months, that's $10,000 right there of your net income that you take after taxes. So for the year, I mean, like for the year, you spend $30,000 on rent alone. That comes out of your net income at your job. 30,000 net income. So maybe she'll explain it. Maybe we'll get a little bit more in depth, y'all. Before we get back into the clip, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype, but definitely if you could like, because like I said, it's only a click. And if you're here anyway, you might as well just click that like button.
or somebody that your Cash App or whatever. Always gonna link back to the content creator. But the fact of the matter is there some self-inflicted wounds in there. $2,500 a month rent, and apparently you're a single mother, which then lends me to the next question: where's the father, and
Hmm.
why aren't you with them? Because
Hmm.
this just proves that women cannot do it alone. When men tend to go through things, and don't get me wrong, I do see men crying on this app and stuff like that, but when men tend to go through things, we
I really barely come. I think I do more content of this type of content than he does. I very rarely see a straight man come on TikTok crying about getting evicted or can't pay his rent. I don't think I ever do, really. It's so small, such a small segment. I don't think, and that's not to say that men aren't getting evicted, but they're definitely in mass, not crying, setting up their phone and starting, all right, 3, 2, 1, rolling, and then start crying online to tell everybody their situation as far as why they're getting evicted. Now, are there more if we go wider on the financial spectrum? Will we find more men? Probably, yes. And I mean negative financial situations. I'll probably be able to find some videos when we're just talking about getting evicted and crying and doing and looking for sympathy like this about getting evicted. I don't really come across that. Maybe begging. Maybe that's a little bit more gender neutral. But these type of videos, it's very rarely that I come across a straight man, and really not even that many gay guys.
to go through things, and don't get me wrong, I do see men crying on this app and stuff like that, but when men tend to go through things, we eat that shit, we suffer it up, and then we just take our lot in life, and either we come up out of it or
Right.
we take the L. I've
Right.
never seen more women in my lifetime crying on the internet because of their life circumstances,
Yeah, that's
when it's
true.
still some self-inflicted wounds that go into that. $2,500 a month rent, and you're a single mother, apparently, is wild to me. Now, obviously, I know that there are circumstances that are beyond people, right? When you talk about some widows or you talk about some other things. But 10 years of school, and what?
That's what I wanted to know too. That's what I wanted to know too. When she said about her degree, I wanted to know in what. We're going to get to another clip though. But yeah, a lot of self-inflicted things, a lot of self-sabotage in here. And y'all already know I asked those type of questions as far as like, why are you having kids? These are decisions. What made you feel like you were ready? But then even further, what made you feel like you was ready to get $2,500 rent, $30,000 of your net income a month that you spend just on rent, and that's not including any other expenses. If you spend that much on rent, I don't think it's too far fetched to assume that you have an $800 to $1,200 car payment as well.
Miami. Me and her are literally the same thing. 23 years old, no job. Niani, Miami. Me and her are literally the same thing. 23 years old, no job, no car, facing eviction. If she can do it, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. And I've been watching her stuff, and I did not know that's how she started out as a content creator. I just found out. That's crazy. Niani.
Not taking. We need to pick. We need to be better stewards of what we pick and choose to be our inspiration. She done. So she's 23 years old, unemployed, and she's facing eviction. And she done found the needle in the haystack of a creator that she looks up to, who was 23 years old, unemployed, and got evicted. Well, she ain't evicted now. Be inspired about her abundance now. Don't be inspired because she was in the same situation as you. And we can take inspiration to see how people come out of it. But you need to address it. And by address it, ma'am, you need to get off TikTok. I don't think this is my first time running across one of your videos. So it's like, I feel like you think that you're gonna, but she's famous, obviously. And that's why you look up to her, and that's why you've done so much due diligence into her life. So I feel like you think that it's about to pan out for you how it panned out for her. and you think that you about to blow up on TikTok or something and become famous and your life's going to turn around in a miraculous way. And I wouldn't count on that. You need to get employed. Take one thing at a time, prioritize. You need to get employed. You need to get some money coming in. You can pretty much solve a lot of problems in life with money. Now, I'm not saying you getting employed is going to bring in a ton of money to where you can solve most of the problems, but you need to get some money flowing and then you'll have more options. But I don't know if you're wishing on a star whether your TikTok is going to pop off. Y'all want to see some of her TikToks? I mean, it doesn't really look like she's doing nothing. What was given can be taken away. Let me see. I'll just look at one real quick.
This might be controversial, but people don't want to hear that our freedom is subjective. The same people who gave us our freedom can take that freedom away. And a lot of people don't even realize that. A lot of people don't even want to look at that and think about it. Y'all do realize all they got to do is sign a bill and we will be slaves again.
Interesting. So now we see why. I promise I didn't cherry pick that. I just picked something. She's got some videos where it doesn't look like she's talking. I just wanted to pick something out that had a caption. And so this is what she focuses on. She focuses on her fear of one day becoming a slave. She's never experienced slavery. Slavery was a thing. It was very real, but you've never experienced it. And you're spending your life force and your youth concerned about something that has a very low likelihood of ever being the case again. And then we wonder why you got all these problems popping up. Ma'am, you need to put all your focus, all your faculties towards getting a job. You don't have any excuse to be unemployed. You need to get employed.
Okay, so remember I told you guys,
Her caption says, "Story time, I'm being evicted."
tell y'all a story when everything was said and done. So I'm being evicted. Yes, I'm being evicted. Why? Still don't know. I've been in my apartments for 5 years. Moved in early November of 2020, right after my daughter had her heart transplant. And so I get a phone call one day, and the lady in the office says, when you get a chance, can you come take a look at this video and see if you recognize the person on it? Something to that effect. Cool, no problem. Went over to the office.
I'm gonna be real. If I get a letter like that from an office on about when you get a chance, can you come take a look at a video and tell me, can you recognize somebody? I'm never gonna get a chance for that. What do you think this is? You think I got time to be coming to the office and identifying it? You're not the sheriff office. You're not the police department. I never have time for that. Unless you about to tell me you about to give me a concession on my rent or something. I don't work for you. No, I don't have time for that. And you better not email me again talking about when are you coming in? Pardon me?
And see if you recognize the person on it. Something to that effect. Cool, no problem. Went over to the office.
Because you better also give me some more information. Don't be being mysterious with me. Recognize a person for what? What are we talking about? See, the fact that she just took it in stride like that, she probably knows that she's guilty of something already. Because I'd be like, what? You better give some more information. Come check a video and see if I recognize. For what? What am I putting myself out there for? I don't even know what you're talking about. But she probably knows what they're talking about. So that's probably why she was just like, yeah, okay. I wonder if she's subleasing or something.
And she's showing me this video on her cell phone that was recorded. It looked like it was recorded of a recording. That makes sense. Like she was using her phone to record. That's what it looked like to me. 5-10 seconds tops. It wasn't a long video at all. And you could see a person in the video, um, pull their hand in and out of their pants, look like what appeared to be a firearm,
Hmm.
and said, it kind of looks like your son. And I was looking,
Mm.
I was like, it kind of does look like my son. It looks like my son, right?
Mm.
Never said it was my son. I said it looked like my son. And she goes, oh, okay. She's like, well, I'm going to have to report this. And, I'm going to have to report it. And, I'm like, black mom to black mom, single mom to single mom. They're probably going to move for eviction.
Ooh.
What? So I bust into tears. I hear eviction. Never gone through that before. I've never been a problem in the complex. Never had a complaint. Never had a write-up. Not even redirect. Nothing. I always communicate with the office manager. Never an issue. In the 5 years I've been here, never an issue. Not to a neighbor, not to them, to nobody. Or my kids. I got 3. So I'm in tears. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, in my head, it's like, because it's considered an incurable cause, because it looks like my son. If y'all knew where I lived, there's a lot of kids, a lot of black kids that live here.
Well, hold on now. Come on now. That's a stretch, man. That's a stretch. You said it looks like your son. So my thing is, okay, does your son have a gun? We're gonna get into part 2 because I'm still curious. But what do you mean it looks like your son? If you know you raised your son in a way to where that could never possibly happen, you'd be like, I don't care if it looks like my son. My son wouldn't be having no gun pulling his waistband up as if he's brandishing a weapon on somebody. Especially if you recorded it. If somebody recorded it, that means he might have did it as an offense to another person. What was the point of that? I know kids do some goofy things to where you can't sometimes pinpoint why did you do that. But do you know for sure that your kid wouldn't be doing that or not? That's what I'm curious about. So it looks like the leasing lady was actually helping her out. She was trying to talk to you and show you before she goes to the authorities and starts taking action and starts making assumptions. But see, I wouldn't have to worry about that because I'm not coming to the. You better send me the video by email because I don't know. It can't be nothing with me to where I could be tied up in anything. And if I am, you better prove it without a shadow of a doubt.
So yes, there are a lot of kids that live here. Let me put it into perspective. On my daughter's school bus alone, at the bus stop, fills up just about the entire bus. A lot of kids, a lot of teenage kids. So anyway, saying that, so what it looked like was someone with a firearm was, pulling, changing clips, pulling it in and out of their pants.
Changing
Couldn't
the
really
magazine.
clearly see who was on the video, which is why they asked me to come in to see if I could identify who was on the camera, right? Couldn't really see. I mean, from what I remember, again, 5 to 10 seconds. Had on a pair of shorts, a hoodie. It looked like a Scully or a beanie, if you will, a ski mask. So you couldn't really tell.
A ski man?
Did it look like my son? The build? Yes. Can't say for sure it was him. Conversation lasted about 10 minutes with the assistant manager in the office. So here I am waiting for some kind of investigation, some kind of form.
My thing is, would you know that your son would not be doing that? A ski mask? Do you know if your son has a ski mask? I would just deny at that point if it's as blurry as she's saying. She looks like she has a peaceful environment. She doesn't seem like she would. Honestly, she doesn't seem like she would raise a kid to be switching out the magazines and all type of stuff like that. A street kid. So because I'm just saying this because ultimately it says story time, I'm being evicted. So somewhere in this story, she either found out that her son did do it, or they just decided to just go ahead with the eviction with the information that they already had and just assume that it was her son.
Formal meeting, some kind of something. Okay, you think that this person had a firearm, and if you think I said that it was my son, again, looked like my son, not a police report, nothing. So maybe a week later, I do have a police officer knock on my door. I'm at work, so I see it on my Ring camera. I leave work early that day because I want to take care of this matter. I don't like lingering conflicts, issues, problems, nothing. I want to hit it head on and attack it, right? I go home, no card on my door, nothing left from the police officer. I call the office. Hey, did you guys report our conversation? Or, yeah, I had to report it. They said that I had to report it, so I went ahead and did that. Do you have a police report, a number, a contact, something? I was like, I saw on my camera the police officer came to my door, but they didn't leave any information. No, I don't have the information. But if they come back by here, is it okay to give them your number? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, I want to take care of this. Proceeded to hear nothing. Again, no formal investigation, no police report, no nothing. Nothing, right? 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks after the initial 10-minute conversation of who's this?
Okay, I'm a little invested. I'm not gonna lie. I'm invested in hearing this out. This was part 2. I had some other stuff lined up, but I think we're gonna flush this story out completely because I am curious. Here's my thing, ma'am. You know who your local police jurisdiction is. Just go ahead and call them. Say I saw an officer at my door. My name is XYZ. I live here. And then you can probably even get them to give you the case number so that you can try to understand more of what's going on. But just waiting for something to happen. And what I'm also curious is, why aren't you addressing the aspect of whether or not you spoke with your child or not? Did you talk with your child, and did you confirm that it was not your child with a gun? It seems like you didn't. That's what it's sounding like. It sounds like it really was your son doing that. And so now you're stressed out about it and you're just trying to know everything that's happening in regards to it and whether or not it's actually going to go the full way and have implications on you being evicted. But I want to hear you address that in part 3.
The alleged incident happened June 22nd-ish. By July 16th, I had a 3-day to terminate. Slapped on my door. Again, no formal meeting, no formal investigation, no nothing. I've been here since 2020,
That's
5
crazy.
years. Again, no conflict issues whatsoever. If I was ever late, maybe 10 days after the first, just how my paychecks fell. But I always was communicating, always through email. Documentation beats conversation any day, guys. Make sure you have every conversation you have with your apartments for whatever reason documented through email, through letter, something. Okay? So I'm confused because I'm like, I'm being evicted for what? Because I said it looked like my son. Did you ask anyone else? Again, if someone, it violates some code that they have in my apartment.
Here's my thing. I wonder if it does violate a code. I don't think that's against the law either way. I don't think it's against the law to carry. Well, not a kid having a gun though. But here's the thing. I need to know, how clear was this video? How clear was this video of your son? Because I'm starting to think it probably was more clear than what you're making it seem, or it's just like, I don't know. I'm starting to think that it was pretty clear that it was your son. You haven't disputed, oh no, my son would never. That definitely wasn't my son. So this is not happening because that was not my son. I'm starting to feel like that video was more clear than what you're leading on, and it was pretty obvious that it was your son. But because they put it on you so unexpected, your first reaction was to just deny. Because I really feel like most people would just say, no way, that wasn't my kid. So I feel like it was pretty obvious that it was your son, but because it was obvious, the best thing you could do was just say, kind of looks like him. Yeah, it does kind of look like him, but I'm not completely sure. I think you were just probably playing in their face. And you knew exactly that it was your son, and they knew exactly that it was your son. And then probably when the officer saw, I think they were like, no, that's pretty clear. We can see who it is.
Complex. Now, mind you, I'm not ashamed to say I'm in subsidized housing.
Oh.
When I moved here,
wait, what?
My daughter was in the thick of her heart condition. When I moved here,
you're in subsidized housing, 3 kids. Okay, well, hold on now. Because you didn't give me she didn't give me the subsidized housing look. But now we know that you're in subsidized housing. Oh my goodness. Everybody just be going for this subsidized housing. It's insane. Why do you have to? So now I want to know. Because I'm thinking you just handling your responsibilities. So now I want to know, why do you have 3 kids? Single. You're in subsidized housing. Your kids running around here with guns. So now you're in subsidized housing. Now I really believe it, that was your kid. Goodness gracious.
It was COVID 2020. And we had just got out of the hospital, 5 months waiting for her heart transplant. So I moved in. She was released October 6th. I think I moved in here November, the beginning of November, the first week of November. So of course, with taking care of her, there's certain obligations you have to abide by, right?
Can I just address the elephant in the room? Because this is kind of making me mad. See, and you don't know who's on public housing, Section 8, all this type of stuff. Man, she got her eyebrows done. She got her lashes done, her hair done. Y'all, I didn't even show you this. Hold on. Let me see if it'll let me. Let's see if we can go all the way over. I can't go all the way over. But look, I mean, she's like a fashionista. It's like, why subsidized housing? She does not give me the subsidized housing look. I didn't think she was on subsidized housing. She looks like she's doing great for herself. I didn't even show you this other one. Hold on. Let me see if it'll open. I'm just saying. She looks like she's doing very good in life. And you would never know that you're on like Section 8 or subsidized housing or whatever.
You have to be present at least 5 hours, consecutive hours in a day. That was just to be at the hospital, for her to be on the transplant list, for me to be qualified to be able to care for her. So subsidized housing works, right? I'm in a 3-bedroom. I paid $1,344. When I moved in, I was paying just over $1,000. Now, mind you, single mom of 3. So now I got to get out. And I still don't know the legalities of why I got to move out with no formal investigation.
And here's the thing, too. You got to keep in mind, If she's on subsidized housing and she done violated something and now she's about to lose it, what could potentially happen? Dang, I lost it. I accidentally exited out of it. But what could potentially happen? So we're probably going to leave it there. What could potentially happen is she could lose her subsidization voucher or whatever, her Section 8 voucher, whatever she's got. She could lose that because you done violated something in the terms, and now they can just completely strip you of it. And with Section 8 and things like that, a lot of times they'll strip you of it forever. You can never apply for it again if you're either found defrauding it or if you're found violating the terms and ultimately getting evicted. I think there's more to the story. I think she knows that it probably did occur just like that. And at this point, we're just doing semantics at this point. And she's just trying to, act like she don't know what's going on. But come on now. You know whether or not your kid is out here gun toting. I'm going to just be honest. And you know whether or not that was your kid on camera. What mother can't recognize their own kid? Whether it be, because if it's 10-second video and he's walking around and doing things, even if you don't fully see who it is, you're going to be able to recognize the mannerisms. You're going to be able to recognize their clothes that you bought, right? So I think she's playing. But y'all, we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I am a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels, so that's why. But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days. And hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So it's usually best practice if you want to hype to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer, fresh video, if that's what you want to do. And then also, if you want to become a member of the channel, the join button's on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family would come with is you would get badges next to your comments where people would be able to see that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you would get early access to content. And you would even get exclusive content that is not available for everyone else on YouTube. So again, if you want to become a member, join button's on the video. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.